Hello, hello, hello. I got to be honest, I'm not excited to follow Tony, but I think I'm happy you're here. I think so, but awesome job, awesome job. All right, but before I get started, just a couple things I want you guys to think about. I think as Christian, I think a very important thing that we do is plant seeds. The other thing is, as I go through my testimony, tell my story, you have to understand that basketball is the number one thing in my life at the time, and I don't have a relationship with God. So just understand that part. So I got up here and I thought, it being March Madness, a great time for me to brag on myself and talk about my basketball, the things that I did in my career, my accomplishments. But I figured I don't want to brag, so maybe I can show a video. And I guess maybe that's still bragging, but I got a video for you guys to set it up. It's my freshman year at Clemson. We're playing the number one team in the country at North Carolina. And so just listen to some of the things the announcers say about me, watch the highlights, watch the play, and then we'll talk after that. So here we go.
February 18th, 2001. It's standing room only at Little John Coliseum, where the Clemson Tigers face the nation's number one team, the North Carolina Tar Heels. Off to a quick start, the Heels are putting points on the board, thanks to the hot hands of Jason Capel and powerful inside play from 7-footer Brendan Haywood. But Clemson fans are witnessing an impressive performance from freshman guard Tony Stockman, who is driving the offense, lighting up the scoreboard.
Stockman for three. Yes.
And leading the defense. When the half comes to a close, the nation's top-ranked team is ahead by only 5 points.
With 7 minutes to go, we'd say they were down any before the game started.
Solomon from way outside, nothing but net.
Tony Stockman again comes up big.
Clemson's largest lead of the game.
Big shot. Now, Clemson has to decide what it wants to do with Joseph Forte.
Here's Stockman with the takeaway. And banks it in.
Morrison has come down and taken some quick jumpers that didn't go in, and this time Stockton picks his pocket and scores for Clemson.
Clemson by 4 with 2:44 to go.
What a play by Stockman.
The Advance Auto Parts play of the game. Look to the freshman, Tony Stockman.
Well, he came down and nobody seemed to be set, not even his teammates. He pulls it up, he knocks it in. Clemson goes up 7. I didn't think he was going to take it, and I'm sure nobody else did, but what a big shot for a young man that leads the freshman scoring in the ACC.
An impressive young player, had 20 points against Georgia Tech, and here against top-ranked North Carolina, Stockman with 16 points and 3 rebounds. On a spring light afternoon in Pickens County, Clemson, South Carolina, these fans are about to party.
Rhett, you see my hair in that video? But that has nothing to do with my testimony. I just wanted to show that. No, I'm joking. So, but I want to go back and kind of work up to that point in my life and kind of what was going on in that spot. But just give you a sense of the environment that I grew up in. I got a quick story. So when I was in the first grade, we lived in an apartment complex with my dad and my mom. And I have an older brother, 5 years older, and then a sister, 2, and then I had a younger sister 1 year younger than me. So my dad's supposed to be taking me and my younger sister to get school supplies. And on the way, he gets arrested for selling drugs. And that just gives you an understanding, like I've had multiple family members and friends and neighborhood and all that stuff, cousins, that either had the consequences of selling drugs or the consequences of doing drugs. Now, the good thing for me was, at the time, when my dad got arrested, my mom moved us in with our grandma across town. And my grandma was really strict and hard, which was good for us. And then I had a lot of good people around me in that situation. I had some of my uncles on my mom's side, and I had some great coaches. So I brought this Bible here today. Coach Soy was my coach in high school, and he passed away early this week on Sunday. But what a great guy. So he gave me this for me and Brittany's wedding. And when he gave it to me, he said that he wished that he talked about his faith more. So it was obviously a public school and that stuff, but he lived it every day. And like we've been talking about him since he passed, and everybody just talked about the man that he was, and he held a standard, and he put us in situations to be successful. And then my relationship got better with him as time went. So after I graduated, he was always there for all the big life situations and things like that. So just wanted to make sure I honored him in this story. But like I said, basketball is such a big part of my life, and it was important to me because it was something I was trying to use to get out of the situation that I was in growing up. And I practiced and worked on my game a ton, and that was the situation. That's where I got to. I had a lot of different goals, and obviously it starts off where you want to, play on the team, play varsity. I wanted to be the best in the state, and I wanted to get a college scholarship. So I will brag on this a little bit. My senior year, I won Mr. Basketball. The guy who won it the next 3 years was LeBron James. So I'll take that one. Now, he was a freshman, I was a senior, but still, I beat him. I'll take it. It's unbelievable that he's still playing. Awesome player. But so my ultimate goal was to play college basketball, though. And then at the time, like I know there's a ton of games on TV, but at the time, I mean, y'all seen the videos is old, but at the time, they would play one game. It would be an ACC game on Tuesdays. So I wanted to play in the ACC. So I had a few different scholarship offers. I had Wake Forest and Clemson in the ACC, and I picked Clemson. And my goal was to get there, and then my goal was to play. Like I wanted to play against the top teams in the nation, and I wanted to have success and show that video. So I have another video that shows the ending of that game, and then I'll talk with you guys a little bit more.
Off it comes the Forte for three. He missed it. Rebound is pulled out by Stockman. Tony coming down. Pull it out, Tony. No, he's going to shoot. Make. Oh, he's late for it. A three. 40 seconds to go. 69 to 62. The Tigers are upsetting number one, North Carolina. 3, 2, 1. It's over. It is over. And there is some kind of celebration going on in Clemson, South Carolina tonight at Little John.
So that was a horrible shot to take unless you make it. If you make it, it's a great shot. So guys that understand basketball, that was it. But obviously see the celebration, and like I said, that was what I was working towards. That was my ultimate dream. It wasn't the NBA. Like mine was to get to college, to play against a number one team or a top team and have success. And we get it, and we storm the court. And, that last, 15 minutes or something, they clear off the court. I had family there. Coach Soy was there. He was there for that game. I had a couple other friends and stuff from Ohio, and we celebrated a little bit after the game. And I remember being in my dorm about 2 hours later, just thinking like, man, this is what I've been working for, and it was not what I thought it was going to be. And that was hard. That was really hard. It's like we watched that. It's like, how is that not enough? Like, how is that not it? That's the ultimate goal. So I remember being there and having trouble with it, and then going forward, just making some bad decisions. Trying to find that feeling that I was looking for that was tough, that I didn't get, that I thought I was going to get through basketball. So I go to my sophomore year, have a really good sophomore year, lead the team in scoring, and then I get an opportunity to transfer back to Ohio State. My mom wanted me to come. She talked to Ohio State. They wanted me to come back. So I'm thinking, all right, great. I'll transfer back home. If I'm having this success and doing these things around family, maybe to be a little bit better. So that was the goal. And then I had a divine appointment. So John Saucier is my mentor now. I talk to him a ton. But at the time, I didn't know him. I knew of him because he coached my brother. My brother's 5 years older than me. And but he called me, and I'm coming back from Clemson, Ohio. I don't have no way to get there yet, and I got to bring all my stuff. So he calls me out of nowhere and says, hey, I want to come by and see you. I'm in South Carolina. I'm going to Winthrop's graduation. And I was like, well, I need to ride back to Ohio. He's like, I got a van. We'll get all your stuff. So perfect timing. And he's a minister. So he got me in the van for 2 days, for 10-plus hours, and just planting seeds, and building a relationship with me. And I didn't give my life to Christ then, but like I say, just planting those seeds, which was great. So I get back to Ohio, playing at Ohio State, have a great junior year. And remember, at this time, I'm still searching. I don't have a relationship with God. Basketball is number one. And my senior year starts. And when I got back, me and Brittany, who was my girlfriend at the time, wife now, we got really close, a little too close, and we got pregnant. And my senior year, playing, having an awesome year, averaging 18 points, team is doing really good. And then January 26th, we going for a checkup. Now, what's crazy about that is I have a game that day. So I'm already frustrated that we're going to do this checkup. Again, basketball's number one. So we go to do the checkup, and they tell us that something's wrong with the baby, and we have to do something fast to get it out ASAP. So at the appointment, though, they tell us that he's a boy. So we thought it was a girl. We had the baby showers coming up next week. Everything was for a girl. It's like, no, it's definitely a boy. And I'm so excited about it being a boy. I done forgot that we were there for, stuff that's going on. But like I said, again, I'm sports, basketball, all that stuff. That was the main thing in my life. So the situation happens where they say, okay, go pack your bags, because once we do this, you're going to be in the hospital for a while. And I was like, I got a game tonight. And it's like, well, go. If you want to go play in your game, go. And saying that right now and thinking about that situation was happening, and then no doubt in my mind I was going to play in the game, is unbelievable to me. Like, unbelievable to think right now, like, sick to my stomach about it. But at the time, it was no question I was going to play. So I go play. We win the game. I was leading scorer, had 17 points. Come back. They induce her, and it takes forever. So she doesn't progress. So then they have to do emergency C-section. So 3:09, at 3:09 on the 28th, Tayden is born. And right away, so what they found out was that he had a large cyst in the left side of his brain, and it was squishing his brain. So they had to do brain surgery, and they had to put a shunt, so like a tube coming down the back of into his stomach, and it would drain the cyst, and then his brain would sponge back. Obviously be severely brain damaged on that side. Not understanding the severity of that, but we got a picture of him right after his surgery. So for me, already not having a relationship with God, I'm like, there's no way there's a God, right? Like, why would they do something like that to a small baby? And I could not process that and had such a hard time with that. But basketball was my outlet, and that was the thing that I did. So this is even crazier. On the 29th, we had a game in Chicago. We played Northwestern. I looked it up. I couldn't believe it. And so Brittany was in the hospital because she had the C-section, so she had to stay in the one hospital. Tayden's in the children's hospital in the ICU, just got brain surgery. I go see him. We leave on the 28th to go play on the 29th. So I went to see him and left. And like I say, it's unbelievable to think about now, but at the time, basketball was it. So I left, went and played in the game. We won the game. And then when I came back is when everything really hit me. So, because now I was going to class, going to practice, would go see Brittany at the hospital, and then I would go stay the night with Tayden. So I was doing that for about 2 weeks. Brittany got an infection, so she was longer in the hospital. And that's when it started to weigh on me. Basketball kind of took a back seat. But still, I'm mad at God, and I'm having a hard time with it. And but I still went to all my practices, still went to all my games. We get up to my senior day. So my senior day, we get to play another number one team. Illinois is number one in the country and undefeated. And of course, I got another video for you guys, so we'll check it out.
Has 2 threes as they go up 23-12. Now Stockman hard around the corner and lays it in.
What a nice screen by Dials.
Beautifully done. Stockman's wide open on the other side. Foster steps into a three and hits.
What an beautiful play. Solid in the open floor. Stockman could have taken it. Thought his partner was in better position.
4-point to shoot. Luther head, the senior. Rebounded by Stockman.
I think they're going to call timeout. Dad's got the timeout. Yep.
What a game in Columbus. Ohio State will make Illinois earn every bit of it. 12 seconds to go, and we've got a 2-point game. So here we go, 10 seconds to go. They need a 2 to tie, a 3 will win it. Sylvester for 3! Oh! Oh! With 5.1 to go! Time out, Illinois! Unbelievable! 65-64! To go. Ohio State 65. They've got Illinois on the ropes in Columbus.
Catch and do some damage.
They have to go the length of the floor. D. Brown, Augustine. Darren Williams knocked out of bounds by Stockman in the front court, though, with 2.2 to go.
That helps them. They can get their offensive set, their sideline out of bounds. They can catch and put it on the deck. They use 2.9 seconds in that inbound.
D. Brown is their best shooter from long range.
Watch the pump faking, getting the defense to bite.
Williams. Luther head. good. Here's Paul. Air ball. And it's over. Ohio State has shocked the nation, knocking off the #1 team in the land. 65-64.
No, that's awesome to watch. And like I said, I got a chance to beat 2 #1 teams and be a part of it, be on the court and actually be playing, and awesome experience. And super excited. You see me in the video. And but it was even faster this time than it was from the last time that it just didn't add up to what I thought it was going to be. Obviously exciting and that stuff. And I remember really shortly after that, like right away, me and Terrence Dials, we had to go meet a tutor. I can't remember if it was a paper or a test, but we had to go like right away. So cleared the court, met with some people, and then me and him went there. And then I went straight to the hospital. So Brittany and Tayden are in the Children's Hospital. And I remember being in the room watching the highlights. Obviously, it's a big game, and they were undefeated at #1. So they kept showing the highlights. And I remember being more excited because Tayden started drinking his bottle, and that meant we could take him home. And then I was about the basketball game. And, things were changing. But like I said, again, I still don't have a relationship with Christ, and I'm still struggling with the situation. And basketball is still #1. But, the family is weighing on me a little bit. And so I graduate, go through that process. And we find things out with Tayden as we go. So we find out that he has diabetes insipidus. Was one of the bigger things that we had to deal with, which is diabetes with the sodium, not the sugar. So his liquid intake was something we had to measure and control a lot. And then he had seizures. So, but those things were things that they had medicine for, and we could control them a little bit. And I'm still thinking athletics and sports. So that's what I'm thinking in my mind, like, oh, it'd be good. And then right before, so I signed a contract to go play in France. And the week before I leave, we go to an appointment and find out that he's completely blind. And that just crushed me, obviously, because I'm thinking, not just because of the normal reasons, it was because of the sports, 100%. That I'm not going to be able to get to teaching basketball and play sports with it and do that stuff. And again, the craziest thing is, they stay back and I leave. I get on a flight and go all the way across the world to play basketball and do good, lead my team in scoring, having a great season. I get to come home for Christmas for 7 days, and I come home and, being there with Tayden, and it's hitting harder, right? It just hits you a little harder to be there and see it. I'm struggling with that stuff, and my uncle had been there a lot for me. He gave me a book called The Case for Christmas, and from Lee Strobel. So if you know Lee Strobel's story, his wife became a Christian. He was an atheist and wanted to prove that Christianity was false and there was no God, and he went through the process, investigated, and proved to himself there it was, and became a Christian and wrote a whole bunch of books. And the book that I had he was investigating the birth of Christ. So respecting my uncle, and like I said, he'd been planting seeds in me for the whole time, and so I read it on the flight back, and the way my mind works, it was perfect because it was setting up, it was proving the birth. So I'm like, okay, if God is real, then the things that people say about God is true. So I gave my life to Christ right there in my apartment in France. And then I called John and I called him, like, what's the next steps? So my uncle sent me all the books for Lee Strobel, Case for Christ, Case for Easter, all that stuff, and working through it, and a Bible. And then my next contract, so my second year playing, ends up being in Israel. So I get to go to Israel, and I'm young in my faith, and I got a teammate that's young in his faith too. And I tell people all the time, I was like, we was doing Bible studies, and the more I think about it, we weren't doing Bible studies. We didn't know what we were doing, but we were reading the Bible, and then we were getting to, visit some of the places we were reading about. But it was great to grow in my faith. And I played 4 more years. So I played professionally for 4 more years. Got to go to Brazil, Argentina, Germany, Mexico, and I had a great career. Was playing great, and finally I was able to pick my family and faith over basketball. So I had an offer to go play. Like I say, I'm playing great, having great seasons. I had an offer to go play in Brazil, and I turned it down. And wasn't sure what I was going to do. Never thought I would coach. Just knew that I wanted to be with my family and figured out at that time we had our 3 boys, and Brittany was over it. She was over the travel and me being gone and that stuff. So, but I made that choice, which was good. And I was mature enough in my faith at that time to do it. And then God blessed me with the opportunity to coach. Like I said, I didn't know what was going to happen. At Ohio Christian, Dr. Smith, he brought me in, and he knew that I wasn't ready to coach, and he said, you need to put a spiritual plan together and a basketball plan together, and I need to see it to see if we're going to hire you. And I called John right away, all the guys that's been planting seeds in my life the whole time, and he helped me put the spiritual plan together, so giving me examples and then helping me take what I was learning and put it down on paper to run my program. And then Coach Soy helped me with the basketball stuff, how we're going to do it, fundamentals, hold a standard, all that stuff. I presented it to Dr. Smith, and he hired me and then put people around me. He was a great mentor to me, and Jamie Batten and that. But through that process, what I understand is, which my message is about, is that God blesses us with talent, opportunities, and resources, and it's our job to work hard and work smart to maximize those for his kingdom. And I got to do that at Ohio Christian. So first, just like any Christian man, it starts with your family, but it starts with our team as a coach. So you're trying to hold a standard similar to what Coach Soy was doing, and hold them accountable and teach them the right way to go and be an example to that. But then also, how do you get out into community and use your resources to serve? And I got to do that at Ohio Christian. Now, coming to Columbia International, put it on a bigger scale, a much bigger city, and that was a draw for me to come here, which is super exciting. Now, the thing that we do in our basketball team and our basketball program is we do Hoop for Hope. So Hoop for Hope is awesome. It's a camp that we have in the summer, and we've had up to 250 kids come, and we bus them. We go pick them up in the neighborhoods and bring them in, and we feed them and have a Bible study, have speakers, give them Bibles and that stuff, and love on them. But I being at CIU is so awesome for me and my family, and that to know them and make them known is what it's all about. And that's what I learned through my journey. And Tayden is the reason why I have faith, right? Dealing with his situation. And then as time went, we continued to find out more things about Tayden. So, different things in hospital stays and him getting sick, and it continued to grow my faith. So I had the seeds and I had a base in my faith. So when things would get hard, I would seek the Lord. And that's how things have gone. So the thing about CIU that I think is so great, and I was trying to think about the way to explain it, but obviously being March Madness and a basketball guy, I want to use basketball. So if you take the 5 guys on the court, they have all these different talents, and some are taller, some are quicker, some can shoot it, pass it, but they got to combine those talents to try to win the goal. But the ultimate plan is to win the goal. Here at CIU and as Christians, our ultimate goal is to know them and make them known. And the way that we do that is combine our resources and our talents to put people in situations to know them and make them known. And it's what we do great here at CIU. An example of that is our Hoop for Hope camp. It's so many people, and I know I'm going to forget some, but I wanted to put some names down to talk about it. And like I said, everybody comes together to make that work, for us to plant seeds in these kids. And real quick, I think back when I was in the neighborhood, the church bus would come pick us up, take us to the church, feed us, give us some candy, give us the gospel, and drop us back off in the neighborhood. And it's the same thing I get to do, be a part of here. So, but yeah, just wanted to talk through a little bit of that. So how does the team work? Kyle Schoen is our bus driver. He goes in the neighborhoods and picks the kids up and brings it back, and he got to deal with a lot on the bus and in the neighborhoods, but he does it. Kim been great, Greta, Monty, all those people come together to support us and give us things, and Kim's been great organizing and putting stuff together. And then Coach Corey's been great, and then our players. So men and women's basketball team, they're the counselors, and they got to break up fights and control everything, and that's been awesome. And then a great thing that we get to do is with Darla. So the Child Evangelist Fellowship of South Carolina, we coordinated to where they train the same week that we have the camp. And so they get to come, and after their training, try to bring kids to Christ, and they get to practice it that week with our kids. And that's been an awesome thing. And but yeah, and then we get all the departments. So all the departments have chipped in and either sponsored or served a meal. Even the physical plant all the way up to the president, everybody has helped, and that's been awesome. And that's what CIU is about, and that's awesome. So I'm going to read something to you guys and leave you with a couple questions, and I'll pray and get us out of here. Sound good? All right, here we go. God has blessed each of us with unique talents, opportunities, and resources. None of it is by accident. It's all intentional, but the blessing isn't just in receiving. It is in what we do with it. We are called to work hard and work smart, not for our own glory, but to serve a greater purpose. Every gift we have is meant to impact others, build his kingdom, and leave things better than we found them. Don't waste what we gave you. Don't waste what God gave you. Grow it, use it, multiply it. And the verse I picked was 1 Peter 4:10. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. Now, the 2 questions I wanted to have you guys think about a little bit is, what gifts has God blessed you with, right? What are you talented in? What are you good at? I think that's very important. Then the other part is, how are you working hard and smart to maximize those for his kingdom? How are you using those to serve? To know him and make him known, that's what it's about. All right, let us pray. Dear Lord, I thank you for CIU. I thank you that we understand here that it is all about knowing you and making you known. I pray that we would continue to find ways to combine our talents and resources for your kingdom. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.